Hello, I'm Alan. Today we're going to drink Mei Leaf's Oku Hikari Gyokuro. I think something I'm going to do is I'm realizing there might be two different audiences. So I'm going to try and add a link in the description to basically the too long didn't watch summary at the end. And for those of you who have purchased it and want to drink along, then you can just watch it straight through. So I'll have a little link for pre-purchase, just want a quick summary, and those who have and want to drink along. So anyway, Oku Hikari from Mei Leaf. It's a nice, good-looking Gyokuro, I'd say. Pretty even color, glossy leaves. There's not too many, like the pale yellow mixed in there. For the most part, it's all nice and dark forest green and some pretty large leaf pieces in there. So at the very least, they've sorted it pretty well. So let's go ahead and get this first steep going. It'll take the longest. So what I've got is 6 grams per 100 ml of water is the amount, as the ratio I like. So I've got a total of 12 grams of leaf in here for a 200 milliliter pot up to that neck. And this first steep is just going to be room temperature water for 14 minutes. Let's get the timer. Right to the neck. All right, and we'll see you in a few minutes. Welcome back. We're just passing 13 and a half minutes. So we're gonna get ready to pour. The leaves are unfurling nicely. They soak up the water. All right, 14 minutes. So, first impressions. I can tell that there's thickness to it, but it does seem a little bit on the runny side for a Gyokuro. You can hear the individual drops, maybe. You can hear them splashing. Normally, I'm used to it being kind of a thicker stream, even when it's that small. So, anyway, let's get this on here. Okay, so the smell, definitely very bright. It's not in a steamed spinach space. It's just bright. I'm not sure how to describe the brightness. Maybe, no. Like the normal notes I'm used to saying, so like some marine saltiness. I'm not really picking up any algae notes. I'm not really picking up a steamed spinach note. Not really any meatiness or porkiness. Bright is just the best way I can kind of think of describing it right now. Kind of let that drain out a bit. Okay, so the liquor, very pale yellow. Almost not even yellow. It's so pale. Very, very pale. There is particulates in there, which is as expected. Okay. Steep 1. Cheers. Bright. Bright is the first impression. Very, I want to say mild for a Gyokuro. If this is your first one you've ever had, it might not be mild, But for Gyokuro, this is on the mild side. It's not like hitting you. There is some good umami present, though. But again, like if it's on a brightness versus umami depth, it's on the brighter end. Very sweet. I'd say kind of as far as thickness, about medium. It's not as thick as or viscous as other Gyokuros I've had. So it's kind of on the medium side. Nothing offensive on it. I'm not getting any fishiness, no bitterness. Not really even any astringency. I'm not feeling any puckering or clenching on the sides of my mouth. So it's just kind of see if I can pick out other flavors. Sweet and like maybe because the last one I had, I picked up notes of boiled corn, like corn on the cob. On those kind of realm of notes, I would almost say this is more notes. Let me taste another little bit. On the corniness, canned corn. Like you're kind of the sweetness and some of those flavor notes of like canned corn. Interesting. All right, let's get ready for steep 2. So, progress that to the second steep. Temperature-wise, going as low as I can, so this is at 60 degrees Celsius. And we're going to do the second steep for 1.5 minutes. All right, so the place that this is, this was picked in May of 2019. So this year hasn't been harvested yet, so I would still call this year's batch, even though it's 2019. The cultivar is Oku Hikari, hence the name that Mei Leaf has chosen for it. Similar to their Okumidori, they chose that as the name, using the cultivar as the name to differentiate their Gyokuro. The place it's grown in is Kirishima in Kagoshima, which, as I looked, is about as far south in Japan as you can get. So I guess normally it's Fukuoka is about as furthest south as I had been until this one, the Fukuoka tea. So this is the first one from Kirishima that I've had. They do mention that it's hand-picked, as a good Gyokuro should be, and the elevation is about 250 meters. Got 1:20. Get ready to pour. All right. Very, very pale, very surprisingly clean. Like I'm expecting a lot more to it. A lot more thickness, a lot more color, a lot more particulates is kind of what I'm used to. Let's get this heating up. So the next one's going to be at 65 degrees Celsius. Going to increase it 5 degrees. Okay. The aroma. Okay, now there's some more. It's transitioned into some steam notes. Wouldn't say it's gone full steam spinach yet. Maybe as it's cooling down a bit, it's getting more steam spinach. The aroma is very mellow in that it's. I'm having to inhale deep to get it. It's not a strong aroma. So kind of hints of steamed spinach in that one. Okay, a little bit more transparent, not as much particles as the other one. Color, there's more green that's come out, some more chlorophyll, but it's still very, very pale. Very pale. We'll see what the taste is like. Okay, cheers. Okay, instantly some activity on the sides. I wouldn't say it's puckering, like astringency, but almost like there's hints of bitterness starting to come out. There's activity there. Very, I want to say watery. It's not dry, so it's a very wet, I would call a wet tea. But it's not very thick. It's not lingering. I guess it's just the absence of dryness is where the liquid words. There's an absence of dryness. I'll leave it at that. Some of the maybe broccoli stems, but not quite. Maybe that's where the bitterness is kind of, you can equate to like a steamed broccoli stem. Very, very mild though. We'll see how many steeps it can hold up to, given how mild it is. Get that all mixing together. Get ready for steep 3. Progress my T20. And 65 degrees for another minute and a half. Alright, I think the last stats are prices. So this is 77 cents a gram, which is more than their Okumidori, which I like the Okumidori more so far. We're not done with the session yet, but I would say that I like the Okumidori more, which is interesting that this one would be more expensive than that. It's just what I'm finding I like, I guess. But anyway, 77 cents a gram, not the most expensive, but it is an expensive Gyokuro. Let's see, so that comes out to $21.83 an ounce. So this session, $4.62. I mean, as expensive as it is, I mean, you're drinking less than like it's not that expensive. If you were to buy a cocktail or something at a restaurant. So I can afford $4.50 a day for a drink, especially once you get so much of it, hopefully. The pot's definitely filled up as it's absorbed the water. You can kind of see there's not a lot of water line above the leaves. The leaves have taken up the whole space. Alright. Definitely a lot thinner, very transparent. I can see through the liquor. Very drippy. You can see it gets individual water droplets versus a very thin stream all the way down, so it's definitely on the thinning out. And in anticipation of it going for a 4th, I'll get that preheating to 70. Okay, let's see what the aroma is on this. I would dare say it's almost in the overcooked. It's smelling overcooked. There's a very distinct, like when I use the descriptor of steamed spinach, like frozen steamed spinach, this doesn't have any of that I'm picking up. There's a very distinct defrosted steamed spinach smell. This is just steamed, not anything particular, but just overcooked is kind of where the impression I'm getting. So we'll see if maybe this is only good for 3 steeps, but hopefully it can at least live up to 4. 4 is where I've kind of noticed if it can make it to 4, it's a good Gyokuro. If it's 3, it's an okay Gyokuro. If it's less than 3, don't waste your money. But let's find out. All right, so steep 3. Cheers. So the sweetness is gone. I would definitely say we're in the... There's bitterness there, but it's not bitter. It's more that because the sweetness is gone, I'm now picking up the tea, like the tannins. Trying to pick out like a flavor. It's not quite like peas. No. Maybe a little bit of pork, but only because I'm trying to force that. Basically, there's a depth, like a umami to it, without being the kind of the umami that I would usually have in the first steeps. So it's still deep. So I guess I would say that where the first ones were so bright, this has dropped. The sweetness is gone, the brightness is gone. There's dryness. I can feel kind of a gritty, drying sensation. But not horrible. So on the 3rd steep, this is also where I tend to find where fishiness and some of the bad notes come out, is in the 3rd steep. So I'm at least not getting anything bad. So we'll find out what 4 steeps can do. We'll just find out. I'm not confident how great the 4th steep will be. I think 3 might be what it can handle. So I've got it 70 degrees. Steep 4. Minute and a half. Oh. Get it all in there. Yeah, that's very full. Very nice. Maybe we'll just kind of sit for the last minute while it steeps. Here we go. What timing? My heater turned off at the exact second as it was time to pour. Fun little coincidence, I guess. All right, let's see. Yeah, the aroma's basically gone. I'm really inhaling to pick anything up. And basically the only thing I'm smelling is overcooked greens. Kind of let that drain out. There's still some green. I'm surprised. It's on the pale side, but there is green in there. Very transparent though. The body's been used up. Get that out of the way. All right, steep 4. Cheers. I would definitely say it can't go 5. There is still flavor in it. And the flavor I'm getting is more like if I'm holding the liquid in my mouth, but aerating through my nose. So kind of, I don't know how to describe it, like pumping air. So I'm smelling it while it's sitting there. Whereas other times you can actually taste it while it's in. I'm hard to describe, I guess. I guess I would say there's more aroma than taste in this last one. It's drier, but not distractingly dry as I've had some that were just straight up distracting. So there's dryness, but it's not bad on that one. All right, so I guess maybe about here is where I'll add the too long didn't watch link, and for those who just want kind of a summary of the whole thing. So we've done a total of 4 steeps that I've mixed all together. I've dubbed it the encore. We're gonna let these leaves sing one more time together, give us one more song, and kind of give the overall impressions of the session. So let's see what this is like. One thing I don't think I've mentioned is the foam. So it's not very foamy. Some of these are just so thick and viscous and the bubbles just suspend. These bubbles, what few are in there, are popping really quickly. So it's not a foamy Gyokuro. I'm still not sure if that's a desired trait or not. It's just something I'm observing still. All right. Okay, cheers. All right, so with the encore, you get the depth. This is very interesting. When you drank the sessions, the first one was kind of brighter. The encore, I would dare say, is kind of in the deeper side. Not as far down in the umami depths of hell, I guess. The umami depths. It's not that far down, which is something that I actually like. I'm kind of picking out maybe canned corn again, which is interesting. So there's some sweetness. I'm not getting any meatiness. So not pork that I've had in some. There's no fishiness. I almost wouldn't even call algae. Just a very, very light marine, if anything. It's very light. So I would dare say, if anything, it's more of kind of a sweet corn, very light dryness, medium thickness. I've had thicker. The color, I don't think I showed you that in the encore, but it's kind of a pale yellow, hints of green, but for Gyokuros, it's kind of on the paler side. Not a whole lot of chlorophyll coming out. But, all right, so it's a great tea. I'm not getting anything offensive out of it. So if that's something you're worried about if you're thinking of purchasing, there's nothing bad in it. It's a good tea. It just kind of depends on what you're looking for as far as, are you wanting a brighter Gyokuro or a deeper Gyokuro or a middle Gyokuro? I would say that with the blend, it's probably in the medium to brighter side. Especially if you drink each session, it's kind of on the brighter side than in the really super deep side. So it's kind of I would dare say it's very approachable. If you've never had one, you could go ahead and start with this one and kind of dip your toe into it, because it's very balanced, nothing insane, nothing scary, nothing gross, just very good. So anyway, all right, well, thanks for joining me. We'll see you next time.